increase human energy, the energy of human consciousness itself. This was Tesla's chief reason for building Wardenclyffe. This was his ultimate reprisal. Had he discovered the means for triggering an uncontrolled consciousness by the application of specific rhythmic impulses? Ether-raised consciousness would prompt world-mind revolution at ungraspable foundations. No power on earth could stop a world of people having raised consciousness. Tesla planned the constant transmission of mind-elevating impulses while covering the real operation of his system with talk of wireless telephonic exchange. It is curious that just 2 weeks before Wardenclyffe saw its premiere debut, Morgan cut the sizable funds which he had already invested in the project. Having been informed of these psychotronic plans, Morgan entered the arena in full belching fury. Morgan arranged the complete destruction of the Wardenclyffe station. Having organized his own polyphase monopoly, he fully intended on now breaking every Tesla patent with new designs. Charles Steinmetz, a genius no doubt, but an agent in the Morgan employ, formed the core of General Electric. The plot was simple: find out the workings of Teslian technology, unravel the principles, and exploit the weaknesses. The very first task which Steinmetz was given examined impulses, oscillations, and alternations. Tesla technology. There were those who opposed Tesla at every turn now. Yet certain trusted friends remained. John Hammond was one researcher whose wealth was always at Tesla's disposal. Tesla remained a guest in Hammond's castle for several months. Together, the two men developed remote control technology for military applications. Tesla always spoke with great feeling of this time period and of the collaboration. Dr. Hammond always inquired after Tesla, especially when the elder Tesla had not communicated with him for a time. Managing his own now meager resources with small consultant jobs, Nikola Tesla was forced to work for mere wages once again. A photograph taken at the opening of Marconi's New Brunswick VLF station is telling. The face of Tesla says it all. Pain, anger, outrage, deprivation, strain, sadness. Tesla had found an incredible truth concerning power and consciousness, a dangerous truth. Tesla had indeed found the very force from which Morgan recoiled. The ability to engineer the elevation of consciousness on a worldwide scale was a frightening prospect for Morgan, who depended on the darkness of minds for his achievements. Morgan had engineered a nightmare for Tesla, a nightmare of hotels and trunks, of unpaid bills and damaging press releases. Pushed back, it was one from which he could never recover, or so Morgan hoped. Tesla was pushed into the darkness which Morgan inhabited, pushed back into oblivion and darkness. Tesla was forgotten. Tesla was excluded. Tesla was eradicated. Can the truth be made to appear as a lie? Court proceedings, obviously swayed by Morgan, declared Marconi the father of radio. Can the sun appear a shadow? Academes derided Tesla, claiming that he had achieved nothing. Can knowledge, like sunlight glowing on a window pane, be made so ambiguous, vague, distant, and distorted that it ultimately appears unreal? No, insisted Tesla. Sunlight dispels shadows. Consciousness persists. Consciousness penetrates thick clouds. Tesla was nearly destitute, but for the intervention of dear friends and the divine providence in which he had come to believe. Of this time, Tesla later honestly spoke declaring that hardship and deprivations alone forge integrity and true character. Morgan died in 1913. Tesla at least was still alive. He had outlived his persecutor. Perhaps now there would be a sunrise which might lift him from his sorrows. In photographs taken from this time period, we see him in his laboratory office, just across the street from the Manhattan Library. Having resolved to achieve his intended world mind revolution, Tesla turned his mind on the perfection of small devices capable of delivering large-scale effects. He designed and manufactured medical diathermy devices, a solid income source. During this time, Tesla busied himself with a diverse regimen of study, public relations, project design, and construction, all the while maintaining his dignified posture and poise. In his top-floor gallery at 8 West 40th Street, Tesla conducted experiments and gave demonstrations of his new devices. There were those who slandered him as an embittered, eccentric, callous, and reclusive man. He was not. Warm, friendly, cordial, sociable, and humorous, there were only rare times when he could not be disturbed. The visions which played before his eyes could not be disturbed until he had absorbed their meaning. Furthermore, each of his newest scientific claims were based on new experimental demonstrations witnessed by numerous individuals. Tesla daily walked through Manhattan as he had done all through his years. Miles of walking and thinking, walking with visions in his eyes. The city had changed since his younger days, days before his sad experiences with ruthless men. But here again were opportune times. There were those who recognized the tall, thin man in his long blue coat, cane in hand, walking briskly along the wind-swept Fifth Avenue on crisp spring mornings. The sunlight again on his face, Tesla emerged from shadow to light, changed only in his friendly approach to people. Young admirers from his native land, often too shy to speak with him directly, would attempt following him for blocks, often unable to keep up with his rapid and vigorous pace. In his top-floor gallery at 8 West 40th Street, Tesla conducted experiments and gave demonstrations of new devices. He eventually moved all of his experimental apparatus to a penthouse in the New Yorker Hotel, a fact which has long remained absent from all his biographies. There he secretly conducted experiments. Tesla found that the disbelief of others could now work in his favor. Who would come to assassinate him now? His antagonists were all dead. He never ceased from his work, although the press pictured him as a lost soul. The time was again ripe for ideas to take root. A new breed of young and adventurous financiers were also emerging. At the height of the Depression, the Rockefellers built an immense arcade of skyscrapers whose principal function was to serve their new communications industry, RCA. Tesla felt that the large fountain of Prometheus was an apt symbol to see each day. Like Prometheus, Tesla had stolen fire from the etheric spaces, offered its light to humanity. Instead, he was exiled, chained to a rock, and tormented until released. The Marconi radio systems on which the young Rockefellers had based their industry was, as he had correctly predicted half a century before, thoroughly plagued with weaknesses and inherent flaws. While he could not manage the complete revision of these systems, he would apply his touch to make the system work with a precision formerly unknown. Radio laboratories, offices, broadcast facilities, studios, and theaters, all were arranged and organized around their version of Tesla's first conception, the World Broadcast System. While NBC was not an etheric system, neither a broadcast system capable of directly communicating elevated consciousness and intelligence, nevertheless, it served as a reminder of Tesla's first attempts. Radio engineers of any worth thrilled to Tesla's former exploits, along with the young financiers who were thrilled to meet him personally. More than this, they needed his genius once again. The Radio City, which Tesla had foreseen half a century before, was infinitely more personal and permeating than anything being developed at RCA Global. Tesla's Radio City was a metropolis in which consciousness was stimulated and intelligence, thought itself, shared through etheric means. Tesla had long discussed the development of his own projective television system, one in which images were derived from and sent directly to the retina by special rays. Meanwhile, he endured the folly of those who ignorantly pursued Marconi wave radio and all of its inherent weaknesses. Long ago, Tesla had recognized a greater power in etheric impulses. Like Mercury, the winged messenger of ancient mythology, a special light had messaged its revelations to Tesla, who in turn sped off to share his visions with the world. Striding with visionary wings above the seething terrestrial waters, Tesla desired to give struggling humanity what he himself was fortunate to experience: healing visions and exhilarated mind. Tesla walked daily to the lovely and serene St. Patrick's Cathedral, where he enjoyed the peaceful serenity of quiet meditations. Tesla fed pigeons here, received fresh visions, and wrote profusely. He left 50 trunks of complete scientific manuscripts, works never before seen. The floral arrangements, which flooded the otherwise stony avenue with color and warmth, were always his favorite attraction. Lessons learned in younger days from the writings of Goethe, Tesla observed the growth characteristics of flowers, noting the similarities between his own etheric rays and life forms. The castle of the mind was an interior reality of the external world, into which sunlight and vision must flow. Tesla was familiar with inner darkness, times when his brilliant visionary experiences seemed distant. Through the years, Tesla learned to cultivate this gift, honoring the light which it represented far above his own desires. Visions were, after all, like flowers growing in the light. Enthralled with the unexpected appearance of this visionary light, Tesla often could not and would not speak with others who interrupted him. The visions were the soon-to-become realities which Tesla responsibly constructed, the cathedrals in which minds would grow and know of life. Tesla carried worlds in his heart and on his shoulders. He was only disappointed and pained when humanity shrugged the burden which vision commanded. "I come here to think," so he once told a young admirer who found him walking through the huge Grand Central Station. His eyes were no longer piercing. They were magnetic and gentle. He sensed and thrilled to the times once again, for here was living action, here was vision and excitement, here was vital communication. Society had actually manifested the mind-elevating exercise which he had stimulated so long ago. The world had flickered in time from depression up into heightened awareness. The world had transmuted from ornate to sleek. There exists a permeating mystery in the last years of Nikola Tesla's life. The obscurity into which Morgan had him plunged left its mark on Tesla, yet he emerged in later years with adequate financial funds to begin new research which few mention in their biographies. The New Yorker Hotel was the fashionable New West Side Art Deco hotel. It was an expensive place to live. How then did Tesla come to own 2 penthouses there? One was his living quarter, a large and adequately comfortable house. The other was later found by a curiosity seeker, a complete radio research laboratory. In light of recent discoveries, we know each of Tesla's statements were the result of real demonstrations. Tesla never stopped building and experimenting. He moved from the gigantic to the miniature with ease. Numerous parcels were continually brought to Tesla from unknown sources. Tesla's nephew reported observing a small and portable etheric energy device. It is apparent that Tesla had perfected several kinds of these devices, intending to unleash these on society. These would trigger his world-mind revolution, an unstoppable swarm. Just 1 week before an appointment with President Franklin Delano Roosevelt, Nikola Tesla peacefully and serenely passed away in his sleep on January the 7th, 1943. In his latter years, Tesla had developed psychotronic and radionic devices, systems which military groups were eager to obtain. The proof was the radionic instrument left in the Hotel New Yorker vault, a modified 10-dial capacitance tuner which was found. Wherever there are intelligent people who cherish vision, who love the mysterious, who look for the world of dreams and its fabled towers, the name of Nikola Tesla will remain among the true legends of the earth. See, the glow retreats. Now done is our day of toil. It yonder hastes new fields of life exploring. Oh, what wings can lift me from this soil? To follow soaring.